Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome everybody here to the round room at the Mansion House for the official weigh-in for our historic night of World Championship Professional Boxing taking place on Saturday night at the 3 Arena. Now, it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, and we're sponsored by Betfred, Stagefront, Forged Irish Stout, Tidal, and JD Sports. And of course, all the action will go out live around the world exclusively on DAZN. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great fight card with 8 fights in total, 4 title fights, 3 world titles, and at the top of the bill for the first time in history, undisputed versus undisputed, Taylor versus Cameron, 10 rounds for the undisputed super lightweight championship of the world. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's begin this weigh-in. We'll bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, 6 rounds in the flyweight division, now making her way to the stage with a professional record of 3 victories against 1 defeat, fighting out of Waterford, Ireland. Ladies and gentlemen, Kate Radomska. And their opponent now making her way to the stage, her professional record, 2 fights, 2 victories. She fights out of Elton, London, England. She's a 6-time amateur national champion. Please welcome Maisie Rose. Now to the scale, Kate Radomska. £109.7 for Kate Radomska, 109.7. And now to the scale, the undefeated Maisie Rose. £112.1 for Maisie Rose, 112.1 pounds for Maisie Rose. Maisie Rose, Kate Radomska, 6 rounds, flyweights, Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Dublin, Ireland.
Well, it certainly looks to be a step up for Maisie Rose, who of course made her debut on Katie Taylor's undercard accidentally as chief supporter as the live float at the end of last year. She's in against Gemma Ruick, who had her first defeat in the summer. In against Kate Radomska, had her first defeat to Gemma Ruick in the summer, but I thought she'd done enough to win that fight. It's a good test. That's first on the bill, 5 o'clock tomorrow night. Paddy Donovan next up, a young Irish welterweight southpaw under the guidance of Andy Lee, in against Sam Mason. Both fighters ready to weigh in. Let's head back to the stage.
Our next contest, 8 rounds in the welterweight division. Now making his way to the stage, he's a southpaw with a professional record of 17 victories, 4 defeats, 1 draw, with 7 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of the Steel City, Sheffield, England. Here's the former English super lightweight champion, Sam the Sensation O'Mason. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, a perfect one. 10 fights, 10 victories, 7 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Limerick, Ireland, here is Paddy Real Deal Donovan. And now to the scale, Sam, the Sensation O'Mason. $149.3 for Sam O'Mason, 149.3 pounds. Now to the scale, the undefeated man from Limerick, Paddy Real Deal Donovan. $148.5 pounds for the Real Deal, Paddy Donovan, undefeated, 148.5 pounds. Paddy Donovan, Sam O'Mason, 8 rounds, welterweights, Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Dublin, Ireland.
Well, what a good late addition to this card. Paddy Donovan, 10-0 with 7 knockouts. Sam O'Mason, we've seen the kind of ceiling he's capable of. 2 very close fights with Kay Prosper. A good domestic fighter, was blasted out by Dalton Smith. But this is a really good, sort of gives a good idea tomorrow what sort of level Paddy Donovan's at.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant matchmaking. It's a matchmaker's dream, if you like. Opponents pulling out. Sam O'Mason had a fight in June in Scotland. He's jumped straight in. It's an opportunity for him to really get his career back on track, and it's an opportunity for Paddy Donovan to show how good he is. So, yeah, brilliant matchmaking.
Boxing Union of Ireland Celtic heavyweight title on the line in our 3rd contest on Jamie McFarlane, 283, and spoke to him in the car on the way to one of the events this week, and he said, I've been doing strength and conditioning training, my nutrition's been better. He said, but somehow I've got heavy. He said, but I am in the shape of my life. 25-pound weight advantage, can he make it count? We saw how good he was against Guido Vianello. He's going to have to be that and some against Thomas Carty. And well, it's been respect all week, Darren, but I think just seeing now what this means to them tomorrow.
Do you know what? I could sense it getting a bit edgier as the fight got closer. You could mouth, you could read what Thomas Carty was saying. He was saying, you're in my hometown, trying to get in the head of Jay, but look, I think Jay has to try and get that weight into play, and he does that by getting close, trying to drag Carty into a dogfight. It's going to be very tough because we've seen how good Carty is on his feet, so it's important for Jay to try and get close, try and, turn this into his kind of fight.
Very interesting. 8 rounds for the BUI Celtic heavyweight title, 3rd and final contest on Before the Bell, live on YouTube tomorrow night. That will take us through to 7 o'clock, where Kevin Ajako returns to action, nearly a year out with a hand injury, in against a former sparring partner, Grant Dennis. He knows very well too, a diligent operator on the domestic circuit. Should be a good fight to open the show over 10 rounds, and both of them are ready to weigh in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the official weigh-in continues here at the Mansion House with an 10-round middleweight attraction. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 18 wins, 4 defeats, 3 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the former Southern Area champion, fighting out of Chatham, Kent, England. Here is Grant Go-Getter Dennis. Dennis. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is undefeated as a professional with a record of 12 victories, no defeats, 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the 6-time Irish Amateur National Champion, the former WBA International Middleweight Champion, and the reigning and undefeated WBA International Super Welterweight Champion, Kevin Black Thunder Ajarko. And out of the scale, Grant Go-Getter Dennis. $159.3 for the Go-Getter, $159.3 for Grant Go-Getter Dennis. And out of the scale, the undefeated Black Thunder Kevin Ajarko. $159.8 for Kevin Ajarko, $159.8. Kevin Ajarko, Grant Dennis, 10 rounds, middleweights, Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Dublin, Ireland.
Well, we've seen exactly what Grant Dennis is made of, even in defeats to decent European fighters in Danny Dignam and Andre Sorokin. Darren, he showed a lot about how he copes with being hurt, how he can recover well. Obviously knows Ajarko well, but I get the sense that this might be a slightly newer version and a different version of Ajarko than we saw pre the injury, because he's had a good amount of time to bed in with Joe Manali and Declan O'Rourke.
Yeah, I think first off, Kevin, I'm a big fan. He's a very, very good fighter. I think it's about getting momentum now, but he's in a real fight here. Grant really, really fancies this. Sometimes you can see fighters, they talk and they don't quite believe what they're saying. He's seen something, he's taken something rather out of the spars that they've had, and he believes he can upset the apple cart here, so we're in for a good one there.
Yeah, Ajarko under the guidance of Manali and O'Rourke in Liverpool, as is JJ Metcalf. He's had a career resurgence under the pair of them, but he's in against a seasoned world level operator in Dennis Hogan. The two of them will do battle second on the bill, and they are both ready to weigh in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the first of our 3 world title fights, as Mr. Eddie Hearn from Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 12 rounds for the IBO Super Welterweight Championship of the World. And now making his way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. His professional record, 24 victories against 2 defeats. He has 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former Commonwealth and WBC International Super Welterweight Champion and the reigning WBA Continental Super Welterweight Champion, fighting out of Liverpool, England, JJ Kid Shamrock Metcalf. And now making his way to the stage, please welcome the defending titleist. His professional record, 31 victories, 4 defeats, 1 draw, with 7 wins coming by way of knockout. fighting out of County Kildare. Here is the reigning and defending IBO Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Dennis Hurricane Hogan. And now to the scale, Kid Shamrock, JJ Metcalf. $153 3/4 pounds for the challenger, JJ Metcalf. Kid Shamrock, 153 3/4 pounds. And now to the scale, the defending champion, Dennis Hurricane Hogan. $153.3, 153 1/4 pounds for the defending champion. Dennis Hurricane Hogan, JJ Kid Shamrock Metcalf, 12 rounds for the IBO Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Dublin, Ireland.
Well, what a win it was for JJ Metcalf against the former European champion Kerman Leharaga. He's had a career resurgence, but Dennis Hogan, we've seen all about him. There were some little vulnerabilities. I mean, the Tim Tszyu fight exposed that he can be hurt to the body. Is that what you think could be the key to Metcalf's success in this fight?
Yeah, definitely for Metcalf. He's got to target the body. He's got to cut the ring off because we know Dennis is going to move. He's going to do what he's done against Munguia. He's going to do what he's done against Sam Eggenton. He's very good at that. He's very elusive. So JJ has to close that gap, target the body, and try and slow down those legs.
Really, really good fight, as is Terry Harper and Cecilia Braker's WBA World Super Welterweight title on the line that Harper won against Harry Rankin at the end of last year, up against one of the all-time greats of women's boxing in Cecilia Braker's. Both of them are ready to weigh in, so let's not delay them any further. Let's head back to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 10 rounds for the WBA Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Now making her way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. A professional record, 37 victories, only 2 defeats. She has 9 wins coming by way of knockout. She fights out of Bergen, Norway. Here is the legendary, former undisputed welterweight champion of the world. Please welcome the First Lady of Boxing, Cecilia Braekhus. And her opponent now making her way to the stage. Her professional record, 13 victories against 1 defeat. She has one win, 1 draw. She has 6 wins coming by way of knockout. She fights out of Denby, England. She is the former WBC and IBO Super Featherweight Champion of the World and the reigning and defending WBA Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Terry Belter Harper. And now to the scale, Cecilia Braekhus.
Started from the
153.3 for Cecilia Brackus. 153.3 for the First Lady of Boxing. And now to the scale, the defending world champion, Terry Belter Harper. 150.8 for Terry Harper, 150.8 for the defending world champion. Terry Harper, Cecilia Brackus, 10 rounds for the WBA Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Dublin, Ireland.
So you'll see there on the wide shot, Terry Harper in trainers there, Brackus in bare feet, just explains the slight height discrepancy. I don't think there's going to be much in it. We're speaking to Danny Wilson from Boxing Science, whose team are across her S&C Nutrition. He said this is the least body fat she's carried at 154, just growing into the weight, and all of her markers in the gym say that she's going to be the best that we've seen her so far.
And I think so, and it's not just a physical side, which is very, very important. I think mentally, she's enjoying the game. We've heard her talk about it because she was so depleted going into training, she couldn't refuel after, and it just takes the love away, Chris. And she's going into training and, more importantly, fights now, fit, healthy and strong.
Well, Cecilia Brackus, another woman that's broken down barriers in her home nation of Norway and has done a huge amount for women's boxing. She'll be keeping an eye on the main event as well tomorrow night after their battle. Can she regain a world title against Terry Harper? WBA World Super Welterweight crown on the line in our third contest of the evening, ahead of another Irish superstar in waiting, in Gary Cully, who's up against a tough man from Mexico in Jose Felix. How will he fare? Over 10 rounds at lightweight. Both fighters are ready to weigh in. Let's hand you back to David.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support of the evening as we go 10 rounds in the lightweight division. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 39 victories, 6 defeats, 1 draw, with 30 big wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando de Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Josecito Felix Jr. Felix Jr. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He's an undefeated southpaw with a record of 16 victories, no defeats, 10 of his 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Naas, County Kildare, Ireland, is the former WBO European and Irish national champion and the reigning and undefeated WBA Intercontinental Lightweight Champion, the Diva, Gary Cully. Cully. Now to the scales, Josecito Felix Jr. 137 1/4 pound for Jose Felix Jr. 137.2 for Josecito Felix Jr. And out of the scale, the young, undefeated, strong southpaw charge from County Kildare, Gary the Diva Cully. 137.25 for the man from Nace. 137.25 for Gary Cully.
Which is the wide one? Is it that one? The middle one?
Yeah.
Gary Cully, Jose Felix Jr., 10 rounds, lightweights. Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Dublin, Ireland.
So there we have it, our chief support, Gary Cully and Jose Felix Jr. in an explosive chief support in Dublin tomorrow night live on DAZN. And it's a pleasure to welcome MMA journalist Ariel Helwani to the studio. Thank you so much for coming. Your second time in Dublin. First was nearly 10 years ago, for Conor McGregor's UFC Ireland debut. And I know it's an atmosphere you think and hope we might see again tomorrow night.
Oh, I think it might be better. And first off, thank you so much for having me, guys. I want to correct you, combat sports journalist, all right? I'm trying to expand my horizons here. Let's not put a ceiling. But yes, it's a huge honor for me to be here. Thank you so much. July of 2014, Conor McGregor versus Diego Brandao at the 3 Arena. The best event till this day that I've ever experienced live as a fan or a journalist. It was unlike anything that I've ever seen or felt. And I feel like I've been chasing that dragon to feel that again, right? For whatever reason, the last few years, I've really taken to Katie. I've really followed her career very closely. And I always said, whenever she fought back home in Ireland for the first time as a pro, I need to be there, I need to experience it. And so here we are, and I think because it's taken so long for her to get here, it might surpass July of 2014.
What do you make of the challenge in front of Katie Taylor, Chantelle Cameron?
So this is the thing about Katie Taylor that I love so much. She could have fought anyone on Saturday. Let's be real. She could have fought me. She could have fought a broomstick and sold that place out in a second, right? What does she do when Amanda Serrano pulls out? She says, give me the toughest fight. Give me, dare I say, the tougher fight, right? The bigger fighter, the undisputed champion at 140, the younger fighter. Who does that? She could have fought anyone. And let's be honest, this country wants to celebrate her tomorrow. They want it to be a coronation. They want it to be a celebration of everything she's done. And yet, this is a 50-50 fight. She may not win this fight. That's what I love so much about her and this fight.
You took her to meet one of her idols, Deirdre Gogarty, who of course she was outlawed in Ireland as a professional fighter in the 90s, became world champion in 97, 4 years before Katie made her amateur debut in a sanctioned bout. What was that experience like to see the surprise on Katie's face? And of course for Deirdre being here tomorrow night, this will feel like 30 years of hard work come to fruition for her as well.
It's unbelievable. It was surreal for me to be there, a huge honor as well. Moments earlier, she's telling me how when she was 11, watching Deirdre's fight against Christy Martin on the undercard of Tyson Bruno, she wrote her a letter saying that you inspire me, that you're my hero. Katie wrote Deirdre a letter. And so Deirdre then invited her to, work out, hold some pads, etc., and they, remained friendly, but she had not seen Deirdre since she was 15 years old. And so she told me on Saturday, I'm going to see her for the first time. And then I said to her, you don't have to wait till Saturday. And it was like she saw a ghost. It was unbelievable just to see them talk. And Deirdre said something that really touched me and gave me chills. She said, you fighting on this card is healing my soul because I never got this opportunity. And so my legacy is living on through you, and I'm so happy for you. You don't often hear people say that. It was a beautiful thing to witness.
But with huge significance, Darren, comes huge pressure. You know what it's like to be in world title fights. What will this be like for Katie? She's going to have to absorb some of the atmosphere, but also block out a lot of noise.
Absolutely. I think it'll be mixed emotions. I mean, she'll be extremely excited. She will be nervous, but she's so experienced now. She knows how to manage these big night nerves. I mean, I think if anything, she'll just be, I think the overriding emotion will be excitement. This is another step in the journey of Katie Taylor that just, I mean, her legacy's cemented, but this is just another fight that makes her an absolute icon, one of Ireland's greatest, if not greatest ever sports person in their history.
Okay, well, she will ring Walker's challenger for the first time in a long time. Chantelle Cameron defending the undisputed super lightweight world titles in Dublin live on DAZN tomorrow night. They are both ready to weigh in. Let's head to the stage.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Dublin, Ireland for the official weigh-in for our historic night of World Championship Professional Boxing taking place on Saturday night at the 3 Arena. As Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing is proud to present for the first time in history, undisputed champion versus undisputed champion as Katie Taylor makes her homecoming. We go 10 rounds for the undisputed super lightweight championship of the world. And now making her way to the stage, please welcome the defending undisputed world champion. Her professional record, 17 victories, no defeats. She has 8 wins coming by way of knockout. She fights out of Northampton, England. She is the reigning, the defending, the undefeated, and the undisputed super lightweight champion of the world, Chantelle Il Capo Cameron. Cameron.
Yeah. If I can't do it, homie, it can't be done. Now I'ma let the champagne bottle pop. I'ma take it to the top. Show, I'ma make it hot, baby.
And her opponent now making her way to the stage. Saturday night, she will be the challenger. Her professional record, a perfect one. 22 fights, 22 victories, 6 of them coming by way of knockout. She is widely regarded as the best female fighter on the planet, proudly fighting out of Bray, County Wicklow, Ireland. Here is the 2012 Olympic gold medalist and the acclaimed, the celebrated, and the game-changing 2-division and reigning, defending, undefeated and undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Katie Taylor! And now to the scale, the challenger, Katie Taylor. .7 for Katie Taylor, 139.7. scale, Chantelle Cameron. The same 139.7, 139.7 for the defending world champion. Katie Taylor versus Chantelle Cameron. Undisputed versus undisputed for the super lightweight undisputed championship of the world. Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Dublin, Ireland.
I'm here with the undisputed champion at 140 pounds, going up against Katie Taylor. Chantelle Cameron, thank you so much for the time. You know that you're walking into enemy territory here. You're playing the role of spoiler. How do you feel playing that role on Saturday?
Cool heads in a hot kitchen, just down to business.
In your opinion, what is the key to defeating Katie on Saturday night?
Doing what I do every day in the gym and bringing everything I've got.
Show some love for the undisputed champion at 140 pounds, Chantelle Cameron. Best of luck to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and now let us speak to the most famous athlete coming out of Ireland, the legend, the greatest of all time, Katie Taylor, moving up to 140. Katie, you've been dreaming of this moment for so many years. You're a little over 24 hours away. Could you possibly put into words what all this feels like right now for you?
This is absolutely incredible. Just seeing the crowd here today. Thank you so much for all the support. I have a chance of going 2-8 undisputed champion tomorrow, and I cannot wait to get a hold of those belts.
You've won Olympic gold. You headline MSG. You've had many historic moments. If all goes according to plan on Saturday, will this be the greatest moment of your career?
Absolutely. To bring big-time boxing back to this great nation. This is a nation who loves their sport, who loves their boxing, and I'm so proud to be here, so proud to represent this great nation, and I'm going to give it my all tomorrow and become a 2-8 undisputed champion. This will absolutely be the biggest time of my career so far.
And final question, you've had so many people support you for so many years, and I know after tomorrow night, 100,000 people will probably say that they were in the arena watching this historic night. What do you want to say to your country who has been by your side, who has been fighting for this moment alongside you all these years? What do you want to say to your supporters?
I'm just so grateful for all the support throughout the amateur days, the pro days over these last few years. It's been absolutely so special to represent that. I'm such a great, very, very proud Irish woman, and every time I step into that ring, I represent my country. I love this nation, I love you guys, and I can't wait to perform again for you tomorrow night. So thank you so much.
And they love you too. Best of luck to you, Katie. Can't wait for Saturday. Make some noise for your very own Katie Taylor.
So there we have it. The stage is set for the undisputed Super Lightweight Championship of the World, live on DAZN from Dublin tomorrow night. And one factor of significance, we knew that seeing them face to face on the scales, we'd be able to get an idea of the size discrepancy. There isn't a great one here. It's not enough to be significant in the fight tomorrow, is it?
No. Slightly bigger set, Chantelle Cameron, but not much at all. Let me tell you now, that extra weight that Katie Taylor's allowed to put on, if you like, will be of the world, will mean the world to her. At this age now, fighting for so long, I've no doubt that getting down the lightweight was really starting to hurt.
But also this week, she's done a lot more media than she normally does. She's quite introverted, keeps herself to herself. But she knew she had to do the rounds this week, see the fans, be among the people, because that's what they came for. That takes calories, it takes energy. So those extra £5, just for those days alone, could have been hugely beneficial.
And I think we've seen, I wouldn't say a difference in her, but she looks fresh, she looks healthy, she looks, I mean, fully focused, as she always does. But yeah, at this age and at this stage in the career, that extra bit of weight will be an absolute blessing to her.
Okay, so 8 fights on the bill tomorrow night. We start with Maisie Rose Courtney at around 5 o'clock on YouTube. And for those of you coming to the arena, the doors will open shortly before she's up against Kate Radomska. Paddy Donovan and Sam Mason will be battling our second contest of the night. Then the BUI Kelty heavyweight title between Thomas Carty and Big J McFarlane from Glasgow. That will cap off things on Before the Bell and take us through to about 7 o'clock local time here in Dublin, when Kevin Ajarko and Grant Dennis will open the show over 10 rounds. Dennis Hogan and JJ Metcalf, brilliant fight, that one, over 12 rounds. Terry Harper defending her WBA Super Welterweight title against the legend Cecilia Brackus, before Gary Cully steps in with a dangerous Jose Felix Jr. That will set the table for the big one. And what a brilliant fight this is in prospect. We've been waiting for this. Credit to both women for getting this on. When so many fighters at this level want to put stipulations, they want everything to be perfect with their camp, the amount of weeks they have to prepare. But these two said, no, we want to do it, let's do it. They shook hands and we have a fight tomorrow.
That's it. Just can't wait. Talking's done, the way is done. Roll on that first bell. Cannot wait.
Super. Darren, pleasure to be in your company as always. And thank you for joining us throughout Fight Week. We will be here with you from 5 p.m. on YouTube tomorrow night, and of course live from DAZN at 7 p.m. Undisputed £140 titles on the line. Chantelle Cameron, the challenger, against Ireland's greatest and women's boxing's greatest ever in Katie Taylor. We'll see you tomorrow on Fight Night.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome.